Hey guys, I'm TJ Dorian, and this is my intro for EDL 853. So, a little bit about me. I am in my ninth year, I believe, of teaching. Currently, I am at J.C. Harmon in KCK, Kansas City, Kansas, for those of you from not in the area. I do coach football, have been for 10 years. I believe this is my 10th season coaching. Yes, I started coaching before I started teaching. I am married. I have two daughters. Elizabeth is my youngest, and Michelle is my oldest. My wife's name is Elisa, and we live here, not too far from school, down in KCK. Up here in the top right, got a picture of Mexico up there because that's where we went on our summer vacation. That's the last little vacation I got to go on. Being that we're in the middle of the school year and everything. I haven't had a whole lot of time to get that taken care of. Currently, I teach social studies. I teach American history and economics as well as government. Have been doing that now, these specific courses. This is my third year with these specific courses. I've taught Kansas history. I've taught geography. I've taught psychology. I've taught all kinds of stuff. That's just kind of the world we live in as social studies teachers, it seems. So, getting more into this specific course and some of the questions that we were asked to cover. In critiquing my school and our approach to some of our special ed kids, we have a lot of issues. Nobody's perfect, and everybody's got their own demons to deal with or what have you. But our functional classes right now are in a separate building. It's not like it's 6 blocks away or anything. It's literally 5 feet outside the door. It's our old Votech stuff where they used to work on cars out there, or wood shop or whatever it was. But that's where those classes are. Currently, there are three full-time classes out there. That doesn't bode very well for the inclusion aspect for those kids. There are opportunities for that. We as a general ed staff try to do a lot where we open up our classroom, have them come in, and they'll come in with a para, just kind of one-on-one para, to help out with those kids. And it's more for the social aspect with those kids. But they need to be brought back into the classrooms, or excuse me, not even just classrooms, but brought back into the school. But we are currently about 300 kids over our original capacity. So it's not really a matter of, do we want to? It's a matter of kind of if we can. Also, within my district, we have a very transient population. Not just within, we have 5 different high schools within our district, but we're also very close to the state line. My school is literally 4 blocks from our state line with Missouri, and we have a lot of kids that live in Missouri currently that are going to school in Kansas. They're on different waivers or what have you. We have kids that should be going to other districts or other schools within our district, and they still attend ours. And it's just, we're overcrowded, we're over capacity, and it really, really, really is beginning to show. And with that transiency, the reason I bring it up is that a lot of our SPED kids with their IEPs or their 504s or what have you, a lot of them and their accommodations fall through the cracks when they transfer schools. Sometimes I know in my experience that there have been students who they have already transferred out of a school by the time the transcripts from the previous school have arrived. And that makes it very difficult to keep track of those kids, to keep track of their records, to keep track of their accommodations and their needs. Especially with a lot of our parents in the community that I serve. A lot of our parents, they there's so much that they don't know that it makes it difficult to help them help their student, help their kid. So we have a lot of obstacles to overcome. My own personal critique, or critique of my own personal teaching with SPED kids. Typically in the IEPs that I get, or the 504s that I get, social studies is not explicitly said. In social studies class, they will get this accommodation, they will do that. So we just follow the reading and the English goals because that's who we are most closely aligned with. Currently, I just looked at my roster. I have 16 kids who are on IEPs throughout my 4 different courses. And they're, when we're looking at the IEPs and everything like that, they get, most of the time their accommodations are going to be extended time, separate testing environment. It usually revolves around the tests. At times there's some direct reading accommodations that are made. But my school is over 70% ESL. So a lot of the accommodations that I make for the ESL kids are the same type that I make for the SPED kids and vice versa. And it's really so much so that that's more of my teaching style, or not necessarily my teaching style, but my materials that I use are much determined by those kids. So also I get a co-teacher twice, 1 hour or one class period, twice a week. So not anything earth-shattering there at all, but it definitely helps to cover the room. In that specific class, there are 8 kids who are classified as special education, and it makes a difference on the type of lessons I can plan, because we can break those kids up into separate groups. We can do read alouds with them. We can it's another set of eyeballs, another set of hands to help carry the load. So I wish it was more often, but due to budgets and all that, it's just not something that's feasible. Along with all of my assignments, modeling, and thinking out loud and trying to help those kids see my thought process as I'm going through the assignments. How I would improve our building, I would move those functional kids, get them back into the building, get everybody in the school needs to be in the same school, first of all. And that's going to do nothing but help facilitate that inclusion of those kids. And it makes the gen ed kids more compassionate. It's fantastic to see them when they do interact with one another. Also, the co-teaching, co-training, I would want, or I do want, to have some type of training, some type of explicit guidelines, expectations of what paras are expected to do in a classroom, of what special ed teachers who are co-teaching, what are their expectations. And right now it's just kind of all up in the air, and there's nothing. It's just kind of on the gen ed side of it. It's very much, hey, you have so and so is going to be in your class this hour, and they're here to help with some of the SPED kids. Like, that's literally the extent of what we get. There's no time for co-planning or anything like that. It's really lackluster, very much so. Funding's always an issue, especially in today's education. Personally, I don't think this would be too crazy difficult. We could move some people around. If it's an art class, if it's a math class that has to be outside or whatever, I would gladly go out and be in that other building, mostly because it's got huge rooms and huge ceilings. And everybody's got a window. Love windows. But we could shuffle things around. We could shuffle people around and make some things happen that doesn't affect our budget at all. The real answer is enlarge the building, but it's just flat out not going to happen. And then in terms of time, for my kind of second part there of increasing the training and all that. On Wednesdays, we have half days where we're on the afternoon side of that, we have professional development. So by the end of the year, we have an ungodly amount of time that is spent on professional development for the teachers. So that time's kind of already built in. It's built in. There's time before the beginning of the year, there's time at break, and there's time towards the end, as well as those Wednesdays every week. So the time to make that happen is already there. The issue would be getting that plan in order, seeing if we're going to need extra time as if I'm the building principal, do we need extra time as a building principal after school or whatever? What teachers do we need to bring in on it? Do we have the funds to pay them? Is the board going to approve it? All those different things. So yes, funding would have an impact, but no, it wouldn't be anything that really breaks the bank, or at least I wouldn't think so. So there's kind of my building in a nutshell. Looking forward to this course, and a little intimidated, as I think a lot of us are, without a direct SPED background. But looking forward to it, and looking forward to learning something new. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, learn a little bit about me, and thanks for watching.